All right, well, welcome to my failed attempt at a medical marijuana grow up. I started off with 30 plants July 15th, and as you can see, it's embarrassingly pathetic. Everything was going really well at the beginning of August, and then all of a sudden I noticed a couple of plants just kind of seemed limp and blah. And then the next day there was 7 plants, and the next day, and then my reservoir temperatures were getting up there pretty high, so I imagine I had a little bit of root rot, and I tried to battle on that with Aqua Shield and Zone, and eventually a couple weeks later I bought myself a 1 horsepower water chiller, which worked out awesome, but by then I think the damage was done. I haven't had any nutrients running on any of these now for a couple of weeks while I've been assessing my rebuild here and rethinking what went wrong and what I'm going to try again. So this time I'm going to go soil just to get some experience. This was my first ever grow, and I probably went out on a limb and took on a little too much at the beginning. Strangely enough, with no nutrients and having half the lights shut off, because I put what was left of the best plants all in that row under my lights rather than having everything running. I thought, oh, I'll just put them under one row. But yeah, weird, after no nutrients for a couple weeks and basically this whole row sitting in the dark, I got one coming kind of back to life. Weird. A couple little clones for my next batch. Yeah, so I don't know. I think what I did wrong as well at the beginning is I had my nozzle pointed right at the base, and these were all in rock wool cubes, and I'll pick a dead one here to pull out. They're all going to be getting turfed here in a minute. Yeah, so basically just crappy, just like rotted right at the stem. Yeah, so I mean, I tried my best to build an awesome room. I mean, I tried to have all my wiring in the wall so nothing looked, everything was nice and organized. I was really happy with the Sentinel products I bought. I got a PHAN Max up there with a speed controller, and that's actually running right now at 70%. The thing is just, I can't say enough about how quiet and how nice that is. Put 10 Air King oscillating fans in, and they've worked out well. Some are kind of off balance right from new, which is a little bit of a tick off for how much money they cost. You'd expect them to be nicely balanced. I have a thing about noise because I work in a loud environment. But yeah, they've been working great, no failures yet. Really happy with these, still learning, a little bit of a learning curve to use them, but Sentinel's control modules, pretty awesome, really happy with them. Like I say, I still got to learn a little bit more about them, but it's getting there. And I tried my best to keep all the wiring in the wall too when I made this room. I just have a thing about, I watched some videos and yeah, okay, my grow was a failure here. Let's all have a laugh, ha ha ha. But I see a lot of videos on YouTube where the guys' rooms are just a mess of wiring and crap everywhere. And I wanted to have something nice and clean. And I got it, but unfortunately my grow failed. I got some speakers in the corners here for while everything's happening. I tend to play some classical music to the little girls. Basically, and even in every row, instead of having stuff on the floor, I try to have everything contained within the pedestals here for the plants, so that way I have nice clean walkways to walk up and down. That was really handy that way. I don't know if it's the best, most efficient use of my lighting. As you can see here, I kind of, let's see if I can get over it a little bit, put the lights kind of a little off, so if I'm directly over this row, the lights are a little in that way. I was hoping just so make it even between these 3 rows as best as possible to spread out what lights and power I could afford for the plants I had. Towards the end there, just to help out the roots, I also plumbed in a really nice oxygen pump a friend gave me, but because I only had enough plants really that were decent to fill 1 row at the time, I just actually hooked that one up to little stones at the bottom to bubble away in the reservoir in each bucket to help out the roots. Nothing really seemed to happen there. I think these plants were just too far shocked and gone. I mean, pretty pathetic, I know. And the main thing is, like, some of them, the ones that were doing well, towards the end, just got really, really weak in the stalk. Just really weak. Like this one here was one of the best ones. I mean, it looked good, the coloring was good, but you know, there again, see, just crappy, just rotted right off. Just junk. This little guy here was one of the last clones from the initial batch I thought I'd put in the bucket and try anyways, and it took right off. This is after I already had my water chiller and everything. But there again, it's also succumbed to a really weak stalk. You know, I just don't know what to think of that there. I mean, maybe I put the Rockwell cubes too close to the surface for the hydroton. I don't know. These were Bubba Kush strain. The 30X little guys I'm going to try here in soil. These guys, it's like a Rockstar hash kind of strain. I can't remember the exact name, but when I got these ones had awesome roots from my buddy, so I'm quite excited to see how these ones progress. When I got all these little guys as clones, the root structure wasn't that great, and then combine that with me being new. Let's see, what did I screw up first there? I followed the feeding chart from General Hydroponics. It seemed to have burned the plants. Like, it almost seemed too much for them when they were just fresh little clones. So once I backed off from that, they perked right up. And then, like I say, I had 2 weeks of just, everything was just running awesome. Like, I was just excited. Every day you come home, there's 2 or 3 inches, and it's just like, yes, this is awesome. And then, of course, the heat hit, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just a case of high heat. And then in conjunction, like I say, with having my tube here right at the base of the plant, from what I've been reading, doesn't encourage the roots to grow that much, and soaks the rock wool right in here to the extent that you basically rot your stalk out. So let's just see what happened with this guy here. Oh, look at that, surprise, surprise, another piece of crap plant. Yeah, so I'm just getting ready to clean this room out and start over again. I just wanted to make a video because maybe somebody out there can learn, or somebody out there can help me learn from my mistake. Like I say, there's no shortage of, you know, I've tried my best to have the equipment in the room and everything done here, but unfortunately it all comes down to knowledge, and that I didn't have. Yeah, so it's going to be kind of excited to start again. I just wanted to do this video to help out the whole YouTube community, just to see what I did wrong maybe, and get some ideas going on how I could have improved this whole setup. Like I say, it took a ton of work fitting and cutting all these tubes to keep everything all nice and within itself here. And then at the front, what I have is they all drain into their own white PVC drain tube individually, and they all get fed at the same point here. So nutrients come in, come out, and then it all drains. I got them all covered up now to stop light going in, and goes through the wall to my reservoir on the other side. Basically, and I had 2 Echo Plus pumps, the 633 model, pumping everything here, and basically, if you picture these 3 rows joined at each end, it'd almost be like a big 8 if you're looking at it this way. And then the pressurized nutrient water would come in. I've got one that comes in at that corner, and one that comes in at that corner. Then basically they're all joined in together in the form of a big 8, so to kind of equalize the pressure out, and that worked awesome. I had basically an equal as possible stream at each nozzle. I was really happy with that setup. Like I say, didn't get a chance to, those were plumbed for air, but I only put the stones in the bottom of these pots just to try and save what I had left before I decided to pull the plug. In hindsight, I should have pulled the plug a month or 6 weeks ago, instead of trying to nurse and waste electricity and nutrients trying to keep these guys going. Oh well. That's the way she goes. I'll show you my nutrient reservoir setup here. Sorry about the camera shake. Tried not to be an amateur here, but I'm sure it's better than a lot of other videos out there. Basically, I worked my ass off, buried this reservoir in the concrete here. It was a hell of a lot of work, and with the thought that being underground would help my nutrient temperature stay cool, and it did pretty good until the height of August when things really got hot, and then it just couldn't keep up anymore. I was up to, geez, I think 76, 78 Fahrenheit for reservoir nutrient temperature, so that just wasn't a good thing. At the bottom there, I've got two Echo Plus 633 pumps that are tied in together, two bubble stones there, and on the far bit there, my my sensors for the EC and all that kind of stuff, and temperature and my pH level. And here was my latest addition, was the Echo Plus, I think it's 1150 pump that pumps the water to my Echo Plus 1 horsepower chiller. And right there is a float system that once this fills up with reverse osmosis water from that unit right there, once that fills up, that valve there stops more water from going into that reservoir, and then I actually get this one filled up as my backup, and I have a stone air bubbler running in there as well with the same style of float, so when that's full it shuts off totally completely there. Yeah, so that's kind of my setup. You can see the three drains right there from the other room, and as the pumps come up through here, like I say, to go each corner of my figure 8 for the room, I have valves to shut that off. My used Echo Plus, awesome unit. It's just a shame with that technology they can't reverse the system and actually work it as a heater in the winter time. That would be an awesome feature for that unit, but sadly not the case. And my setup here for stuff I was using, Cali Magic I should say. I had another bad mistake too with CalMag Plus. It's from their organics line, and there's no warning on the label, but I later found out that it's not recommended for recirculating hydroponic systems, and now that you know it's an organic product, you can see why. Rapid Start seems to be an awesome product. I had my Aqua Shield for when things were not doing so well, and it seemed to help out a little bit. And some of the other little goodies I've been using for my grow. Advanced Nutrients product there, for the pH up, pH down, very, very concentrated. It kind of surprised me just how concentrated that stuff is for, and what a small amount will do as far as adjusting pH. And there's 55 gallons in there, and in the system there's another 15 gallons that's held in the system, so it moves it quite quick. Yeah, so if anybody basically has any ideas, and there's going to be lots of haters, and there's going to be lots of cool people that want to give me some ideas on what I could do better, hey, great. I'm open to all, and look forward to seeing the comments. Thank you very much for your time and watching my first video. Hopefully it wasn't too shaky on the camera, and you guys have yourself a great day.